Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is Swamp Cove for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. Built partly on a series of small islands, this park already has a pair of large roller coasters as its centerpiece. Your objective, to have at least 1,600 guests in your park at the end of October Year 3 with a park rating of at least 600. Okay, so I do remember this scenario, and I know that the coasters are called Dexter and Sinister. Oh, I got it the right way around. That's handy. Which is, I believe, like Latin for left and right, or right and left, I should say. Sinister being left, because back in the day, they thought that left-handers were evil, and left-handed kids used to get beaten in schools and stuff like that. So yeah, so we've got two boss coasters, as I'd call them. So everything else that we build doesn't need to be as good as this. These are going to be our standout rides in the park. So I also remember something about this park, but let's go through the basics first, and we'll point that out when it comes to it. So we've got free entry. We have got a transport ride. We've got decent selection of gentle rides, a decent selection of coasters, some thrill rides, some water rides, which, is handy because we've got water, and some shops. Now, we do not have a drink stall. So I remember when I first played it, I probably thought that the Fruity Ices stall counts as a drink stall because, in real life, if you were thirsty and you wanted a lollipop or a popsicle, some of you would call it, that would be fine. That would quench your thirst. In this game, it doesn't. So we are going to research shops straight away. I know it's going to take a bit of a while for that to come out because, as I said, played it before. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I am going to adjust the pathing slightly. But I think to start with, it's going to rain. I think to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a block break and photo sections to these coasters and hopefully improve the throughput. Okay, so we're still in March. I've split the stations. Let's put on pause a second. That way we can start them both at the same time, like so. We're going to run it on fast forward and let's hide the rides because we only care about the trains. There you go. They're back there. So I've added a block break and a brake run just there. And they've come back pretty well. So what I do in this sort of situation is I'll save it, then I'll run it on test, and if I need to make any changes, I'll load the save back up, make the changes, and then redo the whole thing. That way I'm not wasting time, because I know I've only wasted a couple of days, but at the end of the 3 years, those few days could add up to, a whole month or something like that we've lost. And 1,600, it's a decent sized goal. So let's have a look at the stats then. I haven't quite come back. Okay, so what have we got? Where am I looking? 1 minute 15, 1 minute 14. Do you know what? That's fine. That's good enough. And the thing is, we could waste a lot of time trying to get them perfect, but the moment the guests go on them, it'll throw it out and it might be worse. So we'll leave it at that and we'll crack on with building the park. October year 1, we're still researching shops. And we still haven't got a drink stall. Okay, so I've given the coasters a fresh lick of paint. We've got the pathing, and I've got the paths in the right colours as well. So let's hide scenery. So I've got the paths coming underground, and then the exit obviously comes out that way, and this one, the queue comes out at this side. They're more or less the same length. Queues. I think the one that goes underground, the red one, is slightly longer, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. And it's going to rain. Let's skip the rain. There you go. So we've unlocked not a drink stall. So we've got Crooked House just up here. I've tidied the paths, extended the main path out slightly. And this is one of my mazes from the maze pack. That it was the 1x2, and then I've just extended it out to hide. Will it? Oh, it'll hide the maze as well. Though, of course it would. So I've just extended it out so it gets to the edge of the water. And then we've got toilets and kiosks on major junctions. We've got a little boat ride down there, but I was going this direction. We've got the Crooked House just up there. We've got drop tower, carousel, we've got a Ferris wheel, and we've got some food stalls, and I've left a space at the far end for a drink stall as well. Coming down, more kiosks and stuff, and we've got a launched corkscrew coaster. It's called Dead Marsh. So decent stats on that. So you've seen me build these before. It just launches out into a bat wing. It's got a couple of corkscrews and back to the start. I haven't shown you the names of the coasters because I've changed them. And we've got a twist down there. We've got a bumper boats going around the island, and we've got a dinghy slide just here called Swamp Slide. Decent stats on that. Nothing complicated. We've got the covered bits where maybe it could come off, because I'm not going to faff about too much testing, making sure it's perfectly safe. I'm just going to cover it to make it safe. If they hit the heads on the roof, so be it. Left some space just there we've got the pizza stall and nothing else. I've left some space there for when we get the drink stall out. Simplified some of the parving as well. There was a bit of a loop to nowhere on that island, so we got rid of that. Now, I decided, I don't know why, it just sort of came to me, the fact that these names were fairly similar to some tools that used to be available on RCT back in the day. So if you get these references, if you remember them, then you know you are old, just like me. So we've got, instead of Dexter, we've got Drexler, and instead of Sinister, we've got Swiss. So names of two trainers from back in the day. Yeah, so all in all, we're looking pretty cool. As soon as we get the drink stall out, I'll let you know. Fortunately, I don't think anyone's complaining at the moment. Oh, there you go. There's one person. There's a few people saying they're thirsty, but not too many. But it is building. We are going to get issues if we don't get that drink stall out right away. April year 2, and look at that, March 21st, we have just unlocked the drink stall, and by March 31st, we're getting our first warning that the guests are thirsty. So we're going to drop everything now, pop down some drink stalls, and hopefully everything will be cool. So what we can do now, since we've got a decent selection of coasters, we can pop our research into thrill rides and start dropping some of those down. October year 2, and we've been pretty busy this year. So we've got almost 1,300 guests in the park. Drink stalls, one by the entrance down by there. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Drink stall just down there. And then one up there and at various points throughout the park. So we've got a spiral coaster just there called Marsh Snake. Let's open that up. So that's cool. And then we've got a mine coaster just down here, Wooden Wild Mine Ride. So yeah, just crammed it in, and it mostly goes underground, mostly. So yeah, it just drops down, goes around, and then comes back. So it's nothing fancy. I just crammed it in a little corner where we just so happened to find an old abandoned mine, which is convenient. It seems like that happens a lot. So we've seen that. We've got little go-karts on the island. Very simple design. I think it looks pretty good. Decent enough stats. I think we've got it on still left on 3 laps. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the way that turned out. I think it looks all right. And then we've got a Virginia reel just over here called Crawdaddy Stomp. Oh, look at all that sick. We need to get some extra. Oh, there you go. The only place I haven't zoned. So I have been zoning my handyman around the place. Maybe I need to make sure I've got everywhere zoned. But yeah, we're doing all right. Just in case, though, it's always worth reminding you that if you do have problems with sick or litter or anything like that, let's see if we can find anything. No, it doesn't matter. Let's just click on I feel sick. We can load up the map and it shows you where they are. So it's handy for when people are complaining about litter. And then just over here then, there you go, a couple of pirate ships, a couple of swinging inverter ships. We've got a top spin as well. And we've got a wooden coaster. It's called Skunk Ape, which I believe is what they call a Bigfoot in the sort of the southern states, the swampier areas of the US. So yeah, it drops down, got a little turny bits, and then there's a little water splash just down there. Then it's got the chain lift, drops down again, a few more turny bits, and then comes back to the station. Nothing fancy. Guests love it though, so I think I did look guest's favorite. There you go. So that's not bad. The fact that I'm beating the pre-builts, considering that the pre-builts are monsters. Look at the stats on those. Comparing it to that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's always nice when there's like a monster of a pre-built and you end up with a coaster that the guests prefer. Well, that looks a bit weird, doesn't it? That awkward bit of track. It doesn't look weird from this angle, but from that angle, it does look a bit weird. Maybe I'll change it, maybe I won't. Anyway, so I think we're doing really well. So we're carrying on researching thrill rides. As soon as that finishes, I'll pop into something else, maybe water rides. But for now, I think we're all right. We've got another year to go. We only need a couple of 100 guests. We'll be fine. October year 3, we needed 1,600 guests. We've got 1,850. We're swimming in cash, and we've beaten the goal quite comfortably. Well, we haven't yet. We will in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so what have we done then? What have we done? We've got the spiral coaster. We've seen that. It's just broken down. That's why it's empty. We've got a motion simulator down there, and we've got a mini coaster. Now, originally when I built it, it did, instead of turning this way, it turned the other way, went through the bat wing, and then came round, and then came down here. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it looked. It was a bit weird, so I just moved it down this way. So yeah, it drops down, around, got some little helixes, or a little helix and a big helix, and then it comes back up to the station. So it's carrying a little bit of speed. So it makes it most of the way up. It probably would make it all the way up actually, but we've got the chain lift just to be safe. And then we got Spooky 2D. Why is that? Is that broken down yet? So that is one of my 6x6 designs. It's a haunted house. Yeah, decent stats on there. I just add a nice space, and I think these look quite good when you sort of dig them into a hill. It's a bit weird, isn't it? They just sat there. Okay, well, not long. Don't worry. If it's not fixed by the time we finish the game, and I save it and leave you there forever. Oh, there you go. You're going. It's fine. What have we got then? Down here, we've got a drop tower just in the middle of the slide there, and we've got a log flume. So this is a pre-built that I have built in other parks. You have seen it, but I have given a slight makeover to fit with the decor of the scenario. So it's called Terrorhenk. It's Mobius. And yeah, it's got great stats. It's also a profit machine as well. It's an absolute profit monster. So let me show you the profit a second. It's making 24,000 an hour, but I've only got it set to £5. So because it's brand new, I could easily charge £10. It would be making way more, but I've got tons of cash, so I don't need to. That reminds me, I've got all the coasters down to £5, and most of the flat rides are either £1 or free, depending on whether they're good or rubbish, and the boat rides, they're all free, that sort of thing. So yeah, working well. We've seen these, been dropping down some extra shops and some putting down fences and things like that. I think if I had a bit more time, I'd probably decorate the bridges, but we'll leave it as it is. 3D cinema just down there. Yeah, I think the fact that the the drink stall doesn't unlock for so long in this scenario is a bit of a spoiler, to be honest. It's a nice stew. It's a nice scenario, you know. It's fun. It's a fun scenario to play. The scenario, the scenery is nice. You know, the terrain isn't too challenging. It's interesting because you've got like a mixture of islands and stuff. You know. Oh, now we unlocked the water coaster. That's handy. So it would have been nicer if we didn't have to spend the first year or so unlocking shops just to get the drink stall. But you know, a minor complaint. We do have a space sort of just over here that I would like to have filled, but you know, I don't think I will. Um, Although now the water coasters come out, I am tempted. But no, I'm going to say no. Maybe I'll do it at a later date. I don't know. But I won't do it now. We did unlock a splash boats, so I was tempted to put that down here. But you know, this is just so big and clunky. I just couldn't think of a way of doing it that would fit in with the rest of the park. Because I mean, even these monsters over here, the lift hills go up the hill, so they're not that high off the ground, and they're off into a corner as well. To have the splash boats over here, it would just look really awkward. Yeah, it would look a bit weird. Yeah. So anyway, I'm waffling on. And you know, we've all got better things to do. So how about we just wrap this up? So I'm Stu. This was Swamp Cove. We smashed it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!